Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Nika, your English teacher, and in today's episode, we are going to discuss the topic of improving self-esteem and self-confidence. Many of you who've been following me on Instagram for some time know that I've lived and studied in many different countries. And for the last 3 years, I've been running my own business and developing my personal brand on social media. And that I'm an open-minded person and I have friends from all over the world and also the ability to connect with people from various backgrounds. And I'm always trying new activities and stepping out of my comfort zone. However, it wasn't always like this. A few years ago, when I was finishing school, I had very low self-confidence, and it really negatively affected my life. I always thought that I wasn't good enough or smart enough, and I also constantly compared myself to other people, for example, including my classmates and other girls who appeared prettier and skinnier. And it seemed like everyone in my class had great skills and talents when I felt rather average and untalented. And due to my low level of self-confidence, I constantly felt sorry for myself. And I was afraid to communicate with others because I thought that I wasn't interesting enough for them. And I was always afraid to take risks and try new activities because I believed that I would definitely fail anyway. However, one day I decided to take responsibility for my self-talk and work on boosting my self-confidence. I knew that it would improve the quality of my life and also it would make me happier. And yes, it did help. And in today's episode, I'd like to share the specific tips that help me to boost my self-assurance to the next level. And if you are currently struggling with low self-confidence, I hope that these tips will help you as well. So let's get started. Tip number 1 that I've identified is called physical appearance. When I was a teenager, I was a bit chubbier than my friends. And of course, it didn't help me feel more confident. And that's why one summer in high school, I decided to take up jogging. And in 3 months, I lost around 5 kilos. And I immediately started to feel more attractive and I began wearing the clothes that I loved and they looked better on me. And of course, my family members and my classmates started giving me compliments, which immediately made me feel better about myself. So if you would like to feel more confident, start with your physical appearance. For example, if you have any extra weight that you would like to get rid of, you can start doing sports or maintaining a proper diet in order to lose weight. And when you slim down, you will notice that you receive more compliments and you will enjoy shopping more because no matter what you put on, it will fit you. Additionally, you can make changes to your appearance, such as coloring your eyebrows, dyeing your hair, getting a new haircut, or maybe buying new cosmetics and trying completely new makeup styles. And you can also ask a stylist to create new outfits for you, and maybe in those clothes you will feel more attractive and appealing. Now we are moving on to the second point, which I've called positive self-talk. And I believe all of you would agree that we know some girls who are slim and gorgeous and they have an ideal body shape. But at the same time, they can be less self-confident than, let's say, chubbier girls. And this happens because your real self-confidence doesn't depend on your appearance, but at the same time, it depends on your personal self-talk. And if you always criticize yourself for even tiny mistakes, and if you tell yourself that you don't deserve it, that you are bad at something and you can never do anything right, definitely all those thoughts hold you back and they keep you from operating at your full potential. So the second thing I would recommend you to do is to reprogram your self-talk. Start paying conscious attention to what you say about yourself. For example, if you say, I'm so stupid and I will never be able to complete this task. At that moment, catch yourself and challenge these thoughts and try to create a positive affirmation instead. For example, I'm very smart and creative and I will be able to find a solution to this problem. And yeah, it's just a thought, but you will notice that it has a very powerful impact on both your self-confidence and the results of your work. I personally used to have many negative thoughts about myself, and in order to change them, I was recommended to read a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And based on this book, I created many positive affirmations connected to different areas of my life. For example, I'm good at getting along with people, or I have my own business that brings me money and pleasure, or I have a good relationship with my partner full of love, trust, and understanding. And I have good health and I wake up energetic every day. And first of all, I wrote down those affirmations on the piece of paper and then I recorded an audio on my phone reading those positive statements to myself. And every single day, in the morning and in the evening, when I was brushing my teeth, I would turn on that audio with affirmations and listen to them. And I did this for half a year every single day. And you know what? The result was unbelievable. And I really became more self-confident than before. And I noticed a lot of positive changes in my life. So if you want to become more confident, read a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Create your own positive affirmations and listen to them daily. And I promise that the results will be stunning. The third point that I've added to my list is called enhance your knowledge. In general, I've noticed that people who are educated and well-rounded and who know a lot about different areas of life, they tend to be more self-assured and self-confident because they are always able to engage in any kind of conversation and they always have many interesting thoughts to share. So my tip to you here is to not only develop in your professional area to become a qualified and confident worker, but also to try and expand your general knowledge about the world. And this can be done with the help of, for example, books, exhibitions, museums, seminars, courses, hobbies, and even traveling. Point number 4 on my list is connected to goals. Sometimes when I feel down, I might focus on the successful results of other people, especially the ones that I see on social media. And at the same time, I might devalue and even forget about my own accomplishments. And in this case, it's great to have a notebook where all the achievements are written down. And in case if you feel sad, you can read it, you can look it through and focus on what you've done. And definitely those points might uplift your spirits. But I would say that when talking about goals, it's also a great practice to focus not only on big results, but also on daily achievements and praise yourself for them. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, you may notice not only lost kilos, but also the days when you didn't consume sugar, or you didn't eat after 7 p.m., or you did some physical exercises. And if you praise yourself for these small achievements, you will have more long-term courage and motivation to achieve your bigger goals. And the last point on my list is, of course, connected to people. If you want to boost your self-confidence, but you are surrounded by toxic individuals who are constantly trying to highlight your mistakes and your imperfections and maybe, question your decisions, then in this case, you will definitely not benefit from such communication. So please try to surround yourself with people who notice the best in you and who appreciate you and who value your feelings and your emotions. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. These were all the tips that really helped me boost my level of self confidence, and as the result, improve the quality of my life and my relationships with people. Listen to this podcast one more time to write down the main insights in your notes, and of course, download the book and start reading it. And if you've listened to this podcast till the end, please send me a short message on Instagram with the main thoughts that you are going to keep from this episode. Because I always feel over the moon when you send me even a couple of lines, because I do this podcast with all my heart and your feedback is really valuable to me. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends who are also currently learning English. Have a great day, and I will talk to you next week. See you!